Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. I hope your week has been amazing. Um, how's that Scorpio energy working out for you guys? um, it it'll get easier. I know, like most of us right now, are going through that phase where we just have to let certain things die. That's the death and the rebirth. That's what Scorpio is here for, to help us do, is the death and the rebirth of any process, a phase of your life, relationship, whatever it is, a part of you. That's what it represents, like if you really think about it, in most cases, when souls finish their mission here on this realm and they go through the death process physically, physical death comes when you have gotten all that you need to get out of this life, and it's time to move on to the next phase. So it happens to us in that way as well. But that's not really what I'm here to talk about. I wanted to discuss the process of opening the heart, my process. And I've talked a little bit about it in my intro video. But that was maybe a year ago, and a lot has happened since then. It's a really, really beautiful process. So here goes. When did this take place for me? It actually, you would think it would start like at the beginning of your journey, of your awakening, but for me it wasn't. For me, my heart didn't really open until I was maybe like 6 months into my awakening. What I consider to be my awakening is waking up to the fact that there is more to life than the mundane, like work, school, home, paying your bills, and the material needs that we have here. I realized there's a lot more to that. And I started delving into the non-physical. So that was my awakening process. But the opening of the heart came, I remember exactly, this happened almost 2 years ago. But as I started to question more and more of my everyday life, the meaning of life. You hear people asking, like, what is the meaning of life? What's my purpose? A lot of us are walking around here unconscious and not knowing, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's all part of the process. So I woke up one morning and felt an immense amount of energy. So I sat up in my bed, and suddenly I was overcome by this massive amount of unconditional love. I felt it throughout all my chakras, especially the heart. It was so much that I felt like my heart was going to explode, and it felt like it. And when it did, I felt the energy. I felt an immense amount of gratitude for everything, every stick of furniture in my house, for my pets, for everyone in my life, for nature. I wanted to kiss and hug everything. And then I felt the pain of humanity. And I cried, and I cried, and I cried, and I cried my eyes out for humanity. And then that eventually turned into a deep love for everyone, for humanity, for all living beings, souls, consciousness. And that's what started my journey now of transformation. And opening of the heart for me also meant that all the wounds that I have carried throughout my life and past lifetimes as well came to the surface. That's what it means. And the clearing and the release process started for me. And this is an ongoing process. It's not like something that you purge out and then you're set. You don't ever have to clear or release anything. But it does get easier. It has gotten easier. All of last year, that's what I was doing, and that was tough for me. I was dealing with a lot of emotions, a lot of wounds. Um, this lifetime, past lifetimes, coming to me in dreams. I did hypnosis. Some stuff came up through hypnosis. Um, and it's all about meeting that energy and understanding it and loving it. That's how you develop self-care and self-love for yourself. Um, one moment. I'm I don't want to say fighting a cold, but I'm like doing this dance. Like this cold is trying to come up to the surface, and I'm trying to nip it in the bud. So, pardon that. So, meeting and healing my wounds and understanding myself on a deep level. That's what this journey of opening the heart was, and also. You get to meet a lot of karmic connections during that process, and these are the connections that help you do that process, go through that process. They bring up old wounds, and like I said before, you may not like the way that they bring these up in you, um, but when you have your heart open, you understand why things happen and why things come up and why people act the way they do around you. You're attracting that, and it's for this process of healing. So yeah, I went through a lot of that, and also what it means to have your heart open. At least for me, is once you start releasing all of these wounds and healing, um, you start making clear connections with not just heaven, because that also benefits. Your connection to heaven is a lot stronger and clearer, but also with people. You directly start connecting with their heart. And that could be an interesting process, because if someone is not fully aware or aligned with who they really are, you'll get to meet them on the soul level, and you'll see the dichotomy that happens when you meet them on the surface layer, the ego personality, but you also connect to the heart. You tend to go for that heart-to-heart connection. And so that could be a lesson in its own, because you have to know the difference, and you have to know who you're connecting with. So that's another beautiful, beautiful process. You process pain differently also. You'll get to feel it fully and wholly, temporarily also, but you'll witness yourself transmuting it, because now you have a direct connection to your soul and your heart, and that's where the healing comes from. And also, what I wish I had known during this process, especially when I was going through the grunt of the work last year, is that this isn't a journey that you take alone. You are so supported and so loved unconditionally by Spirit, and so you could also ask for their help. I do that more often now, and that's what makes it easier for me as I go through this process. Um, Transformation is a process that just continues on and on and on, you know. With each lesson that we complete, with each karmic cycle that we complete, we are transforming if we allow it to happen. As far as assistance, when I go through my darkness, we all have it, I realized I don't have to carry that burden alone, and I ask for, Spirit, my angels, Source, for help, and it arrives so quickly. They do come. They cannot interfere with your life. That's the thing. The spirit world, or your guides, or your angels, unless you ask them to. So that there needs to be permission for anyone to help you in that way. And so when you allow that, respite comes, relief comes, higher consciousness opens up to you. It's like unlocking the secret doorway to healing. That's what it's like. And so please, if any of you are going through this and you feel like you're going at it alone, know and understand that you are not alone. Assistance is there. And it comes to you in the most beautiful way. Either heaven will send earth angels to you, or you'll just receive the energy. So just open up to receiving this assistance and believe that help is coming. So that's one thing that I'm glad that I know now. I use that lifeline when needed. Don't try and create a codependent relationship too, because some journeys are meant for you to walk alone too, but it doesn't mean you're completely alone. They're watching you, but you kind of have to do certain things on your own, and when assistance is needed, ask for it and it'll be there for you, okay? If we don't walk this journey on our own, then we're not really learning and expanding, so understand that process too. So yeah, this is what I mean by opening your heart is the most beautiful and the most painful process you could ever embark on, or journey that you can embark on. But the good outweighs the dark side. And so this also allowed me to get to know my shadow self. That's where most of the healing takes place too. And it allowed me to accept myself exactly as who I am. And allow surrendering. That's another one. Surrendering is so important in this process. That's what allows you to receive. That's what allows you to be open and go on this journey authentically. That's a tough one for some of us, especially when the ego is involved. Surrendering could be difficult. And so also awareness comes to you of your ego. You understand it, and you learn to work with your ego and allow the ego to help you surrender to any situation. Surrendering means, to me, acceptance, accepting any situation exactly for what it is, not for what it could be or not for what it was, but being present and accepting it for what it is. And being present is so important in this process, during this journey. That's where life happens, is in the presence. It may shape, your present situation may shape future moments, of course. That's why it's important to be in the here and now. And when we think of future moments, we have to understand that we have free will here. So anything can change, anything can happen. So that's why it's important to focus on the now. The only thing you have control over is now, and that's where change happens. So that has been, so far, my journey of the opening of the heart, this whole process. A lot of healing has taken place. Transformations have taken place. I have allowed my true self to emerge, and it has allowed me to be of service to others in the most authentic way. And also, with an open heart, I feel like I am strong enough to offer my heart to anyone, regardless of what the outcome would be, regardless of red flags. Because no matter what, I know that I can heal myself. I am becoming self-sufficient. And so I am confident in offering my heart to what we perceive to be the most negative person, even if I know this person is going to hurt me or may not have good intentions towards me. These are all hypotheticals, by the way, but that's what it allows you to do, to selflessly give your heart to people and receiving the healing in the process. It's not about self-sacrifice. It's a beautiful process. I have nothing but unconditional love for everyone, so it makes it easier, actually. And that's what healing is about, is being strong enough to be your most authentic self and be there for others as you are for yourself. And so I'm going to leave it at that for now. Thank you so much, everyone, for your love, your healing, and your support. I am sending off so much love, healing, and abundance to all of you. I will see you on the next video. Bye.